వెల్కమ్ టు హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్. ఏపీ మరియు తెలంగాణలో బెస్ట్ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్గా ప్రజెంట్ హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అవుతుంది. అలానే మంచి మొబైల్ యాప్ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్కి హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్, దీంట్లో ఫ్రీగా అన్నీ ఉన్నాయి, చూసుకోండి.
అండర్ Mughals, especially regarding Akbar, his revenue administration, his Mansabdari and his religious policy towards the Rajputs and Sikhs, these are very very important. Next you come down to the modern Sipahi Mutni, decline of the later Mughals and the nationalist and the freedom movements. So everyone have to be personal analysis are very helpful we have to be follow. Now as per this, I think this is very helpful to the non-history students. First of all, how to learn the Indian history, what chapters are there in this one. Now I am going to discuss. I said I gave the clear cut clarity regarding Indian history, and the next one is history. Now I will discuss something regarding the history. After completion of the history, then we will discuss all those topics in the Indian history as per. Now I am going to discuss something regarding the history. This is the common for. They never ask in the examination point of view, especially in the syllabus, they never mention the history, only they mention the Indian history. So here I have to be remember, along with Indian history, everyone have to be learn the history. Then only you will fill the 100% of the marks. We will get the 100% of secure the marks. So now I will discuss something regarding the history. I am not discussing with you not Indian history. This is the common for. This is the common word, history. Under introduction topic, I am discussing the first, what is history. Here, what is history? What is the definition? And who is the father of history? Not Indian history. Who is the father of history? What are the sources? And what are the divisions in the history? These are all those topics we will discuss here. So first of all, everyone have know something regarding history. What is history? What is history? History is nothing but study of the past. History is nothing but study of the past. What happened in the previous? In generally, before I start to teach or before I start to share my ideas or opinions regarding subject with you, is also the past. What is there in the past? Simply two things. What are those? What is there in the past? Success and failures. History is nothing but study of the past only. What is there in the past? Success and failures. Nothing else. Success and failures. So now come to one practical question I pose to you. If you learn history what you will get or what is the benefit for you. So you said, na, history is nothing but a study of the past. While learn the study of the past or while learn regarding the past, and what is the benefit? But you won't say like, sir, if we will learn and we will get a maximum marks in the competitive exams. Why means this is very, very important subject, played a vital role in the all competitive exams. But this is pure commercial. Okay, is it necessary for us? For the purpose of examination, we started to learn history. Otherwise, we don't have such kind of interest to learn the history. What we will get from the history? So, but you leave this one. It means especially the commercial point. In generally, what you will benefit while history, this is very, very important. I said, history is nothing but what happened in the past. What are success or what are the failures? Okay, now, see, if you learn the history, generally, history is nothing but study of the past only. But the subject not only connect the past, even though present and future also. The subject history will connect with three tenses. Either present, past, even though future. Suppose, if you learn, if you know what happened in the previous, that is a base for us. Those who remember what happened in the past, suppose these people will easily succeed. How is it? Suppose if you know something, you better do mind in ourselves. You take our destination based on the past. We can easily move how to reach our destination at present. At present. So, we have to remember this one. The subject will give you a lot of information regarding the past only. If you know the past, we can easily reach our goal. We never do the mistakes. Okay, now, so that's why a great ancient Greek historian, his name is none other than, who is the great personality? Herodotus. Herodotus is a famous Greek historian. He gave a clear information or the definition regarding the history. The subject which will connect with the three tenses, either past, present, even though future also. Just we have to observe two important questions previously commonly repeated here and repeating also. For example, what is history? Very simple answer. Study of the past. This is one question. You better keep in your pocket. Here one important question answer we got here. What is history? But this type of very LKG level questions they are not asking. But in the previously, even though sometimes if this type of questions will ask, And while learning what is history, this is very easy. Sometimes we will forget. Sometimes this type of silly questions also they are asking. This is very easy questions also they are asking. What is history? Simple answer, study of the past. This is one important question for you. Study of the past. Next, number 2 question. Number 2. Who is the father of history? But clearly, I am not asking to you who is the father of Indian history. I am asking here, I am posing question to you, who is the father of history? I said few seconds before, the father of history is nothing but Herodotus. Sometimes he only asks, the father of history, Herodotus, belongs to, he is a famous Greek historian. Sometimes he little bit confused to us. We know father of history, Herodotus, okay. He is a historian, but we know he belongs to Greek. But Greek historian or the Greek sailor or Greek novelist or Greek means political analyzer or political thinker sometime. Anyhow, Herodotus, but here we will expect 2 type of questions here. Who is the father of history? Herodotus. Then next one is, he is a famous Greek historian. He giving a clear definition to the subject history. Then next, and what I said just a few seconds before, I shared my opinion with you. Nothing but what benefits we will get while on the history. What benefit? But won't commercially. Suppose if you post to me commercially, sir, this is the subject very important for the examination, competitive examination point of view. That's why I started to learn the Indian history or the history. Okay, leave it. But in generally, what benefit we will get while learn the history means, if you learn the history, I said we will reach easily our destination. Suppose you take few examples. We know our beloved Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, and he did something on 8th November 2016 regarding the demonetization. But he is fail, pass, I win our mind. But he is not a first ruler in India. He is not a first ruler in India. Did some kind of experiments regarding the economy. If you learn the history, such type of experiments so far in India. Suppose you take the best example, but here number of times the question is repeating from here. That is nothing but simply question asking like this. Who is the, once again remember, who is the first Indian ruler titled with Prince of Many Years? Once again repeat. Who is the first Indian ruler titled with Prince of Many Years? I think he is the first Indian ruler did experiments in the economy. But he is fail or pass towards we never question. See, none other than, suppose if the question will ask, Who is the person titled with, or who is the Indian ruler titled with the Prince of many years? He is nothing but Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Simply MBT. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. See, Fakhruddin Zuna Khan Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Fakhruddin Zuna Khan is original name. Okay, later we will discuss while discussing establishment of the Delhi Sultanates. See, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he titled with the Prince of many years. He ruled India from Delhi 1325 to 51. Totally he was ruled 26 years as the Sultanate of Delhi. But before he came to power, or before he came to throne, in India, a lot of silver made coins, even though gold made coins are there. But he is the first person or the ruler in India to mint token currency, or he made currency made with very cheaply available metal is nothing but the copper or the bronze metal, bronze coins. And before him, there is no such type of coins. See, before he came to throne in India, such type some coins are there. Here clearly observe. Here my intention is so many times asking the questions here. Very very important. See, before him, a famous rulers are there in the world. A famous rulers are there in the world. They are nothing but Kublai Khan. The number one is Kublai Khan of China. Kublai Khan of China. And one more, Ghai Kutu of Iran. Actually he is based on, that means Mongolia. Mongolian origin. Actually the Mongolian origin. Here questions are asked commonly. They are the first rulers in the world to release paper currency in the world. Who are the first people or the first rulers in the world to release the paper currency? Kublai Khan of China, Ghai Kutu of Iran, that means the Mongolian origin. See, Muhammad bin Tughlaq greatly observed these two characters. They are succeed while introducing paper made currency. Why am not I? So he greatly inspired. Because of that time a lot of scarcity is there regarding the currency, or even though regarding the silver and gold made coins in India. He had an idea because of these two people inspiration on him. Why am not I? Why I introduce some kind of cheaply available metal, and easily available metal in India is nothing but the copper, and the second one is the bronze. So here one important bit, which is the first metal experienced by human being in India, the copper. Copper is the first metal, chiefly available metal. So while compared to the either silver or gold, very less precious metal, see copper. See, along with copper, and one more alternative, he took the bronze also. Bronze is nothing but this is also a metal made with copper plus tin. This is a metal with different quality. Generally, we never found it. We have to be made it. We have to be make. So, copper and tin, along with these two metals, we can create and made a new metal that is called the bronze. And he had an idea, why won't fulfill the scarcity of such kind of the gold made and silver made metals? Why won't took either copper or bronze made metals? So, but he had an idea, okay, and immediately, and he started to make the coins with the help of the copper and bronze, and mint the coins, and even the released also, issued also. But here one important thing, before issue the coins or before made the coins, what he did mistake here, or being a roller, before you do that particular experiment, or once very very important, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq did here, he never think. See, why means, in generally, these two, either copper and bronze, both are the very chiefly available metals in India. Even though India is a surplus in the point of copper also. Okay, na? But he never think this is very easily, chiefly available metal. Why won't the people misread this one? He never think like that. See, but in such a logic thing, he never observed that one, and immediately he made the coins with the copper and bronze. Then, okay, he did something okay. But even though here, he failed to monitoring also, state controlling, state monitoring also is not there. Because of chiefly easily available metal, then there is no state monitoring or control. Every home became tankasala, or every home became mint. This is the failure of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He done a great mistake here. He never observed these two things here. Blindly, he greatly inspired by the two great characters, but they are the most successful people. But a lot of groundwork is there before the success. But here, without any groundwork, without any logic thinking, he blindly himself issued the coins. See, but anyhow, here some important bits for us. These are all are, if you learn history, what will get the benefit point of view? What are the very, very important questions for us? Number one, who is first Indian ruler to title with Prince of many years? This is one important bit. Then, who are the first rulers in the world to issue paper currency? These two people, Kublai Khan and Gaikutu. These two people greatly inspired the character of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Because of such great inspiration, Muhammad bin Tughlaq too issued or done a great experiment in India first regarding currency in the economic matters. But fail or pass, but he was failed. But do never mind it. Either pass or fail, he done some kind of, he did some experiments. But here some important bits are there. What are along with these bits? For example, gold made coins. What are the name of the gold made coins? Dinars. What is the name of the gold made coins? Dinars. Even though Bisant also is there, this is Bisant also the gold made coin only, that is introduced by the Romans. See, dinars, gold made coins, and then silver made coins, tanka, sometime token currency, is especially any metal made coin we simply call as tanka. Especially which metal means silver made metal or silver made coin. Then already before him dinars are there, even though silver made coins are there. But now he issued, introduced, new, that one made with copper or bronze. They are nothing but, this is nothing but tanka. See, tanka, here also token currency. Generally silver made coins are tankas. But generally what type of coins Muhammad bin Tughlaq was issued, released means tanka. Tanka means is a metal made. But which metal? Copper made. Even though token currency also is there. One more name is token currency. See, gold made dinars, silver made tankas, even the copper or bronze made the token currency. And a particular the name is jitals. Jitals. The jitals are the new coins which were made with copper or bronze. Then come to, he made one more brass made. They are nothing but the biraj. They are nothing but the biraj. See, in the previous examinations, number of times the questions are repeating. Silver made coin, what is the gold made coins? Muhammad bin Tughlaq means introduced what is new coins, what is jital and what is biraj. Biraj is nothing but the brass made. Jitals or token currency is nothing but the copper or the bronze made. Tankas are nothing but the silver made. Dinars are nothing but the gold made. But here questions are very, very important. Dinars, tankas, jitals and biraj. See, these are all very, very important questions for you. Now, we take a best example. See, our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, He also did the experiment on 8th November 2016. What he was announced around 8:30 or 9 o'clock towards the national media. See, we know very well. But Narendra Modi ji fail or pass in the demand, that is none of our business. See, if Narendra Modi ji we know something regarding the history, so he did somewhat more in the demonetization. But especially here Muhammad bin Tughlaq was failed. But if Narendra Modi ji will means know something regarding the history, he did some better development or the better progress towards the last demonetization. But some of the great economists are describing, or that means they means doing some of the great our economists also criticizing our India of Narendra Modi ji. He was failed in that particular demand. We no need to the such type of. Anyhow, being a ruler, if he had an idea regarding the history, then the percentage of the success is more. So, if we follow, if we learn the history, and the success percentage is somewhat more. Generally, I said, history is nothing but means a success and failures of our forefathers, what they did. Suppose if we know the success or the failures of our forefathers, and these are all very helpful, or they are the base for us, a great platform for us to develop. Suppose here one different type of questions also asking in our general history. I said history is nothing but a study of past only. We are considering success of our forefathers or failures of forefathers. Generally we are following or considering the success of our forefathers only. The success of our forefathers is called, this is one more question for us, heritage. Heritage. What is heritage? Heritage is nothing but the success of our forefathers. See, if we will follow the success and failures of our forefathers, we have a lot of chance toward the success. If we will follow only the success, this is not enough to success. So because of these two are very, very important for us. See, especially in our point of, in the bit point of our exam's point of view, simply here one question is very important. What is heritage? The heritage is nothing but the success of our forefathers. See, totally here questions once again repeat. These are the very, very important. See, these are all are from history only, not Indian history. What is history? Who is the father of Indian history? Not. Who is the father of history? Who is Herodotus or Herodotus? Then, what are the great coins in India before generally Muhammad bin Tughlaq? What type of new coins he was introduced? Why he was introduced the new coins? So gold made metals, silver made metal, copper made, or even though the bronze made, even though the brass made. And who are the first rulers in the world to issued or the release paper currency? Who is the first Indian ruler titled with the Prince of Money? The question is always be repeating. See, these are all our questions are very, very important. See, next, I stood in front of you, I am sharing some kind of my opinions with you. Here, what are the sources to me? Discuss with you. What are sources to me? Share with you regarding the history. That means, now I am going to discuss what are the sources of the history. Now, just we discuss what is history, what we are getting from the history, or nothing but what are the benefits we are getting from the history. Now, what are the sources? Without sources, we can't follow blame, we can't listen. See, what are sources for the history? What are sources for the construction of subject history? See, now I am going to discuss what are sources of history. Now we discuss what are sources of the subject history. What are sources for the construction of the subject history? See, up to discussed what is history, what are the divisions in the history, what is the definition, who is the father of history, and what benefit we are getting while learning the history. Now, what are the sources of the history? Do you think, or can you guess, what are the sources of the history? What are the sources of the history? The sources of the history, we are the two type of the sources. One is archaeology. One is archaeology. Second one is literary sources. What are the sources of the history? How many types of sources of history we had? Means two types of sources. One is archaeology and the second one is literal source. Is nothing but literary sources. Based on these sources, our historians constructed the subject history. One is archaeology, which means archaeology is a science to dig old mounds in a systematic, or archaeology is a science unable to us to dig old mounds in a systematic manner in successive layers and get a material life of the people. Material life of people. See, this is very, very important source for the history, archaeology. Archaeology is a science unable to us to dig old mounds, in a successive layers in successive layers and get material life of people. See, just here you observe, this is the department, is nothing but archaeology, came into existence in the year 1861 December. This department is very helpful to us to dig old mounds. That means the department, the main responsibility to dig at a particular sites, with the help of some tools, and get a valid information, This subject, that means this department came into existence in the year 1861 December. See, archaeology is nothing but diggings. Where they were dig at a particular site with the help of some kind of sharp and short tools. By getting itself, they are getting something. By digging itself, they are getting some kind of debris. See, some kind of debris. Just once you observe here how the bit will form. When archaeology came into existence or was set up in India, 1861 December. What is this? Here one clear definition is there. Archaeology is a science which enable to us to dig old mounds in a successive layer in a systematic manner and get a material life of old people. Here, by digging itself at a particular site, they are getting some kind of information regarding the old or the ancient. See, this department is very helpful for the construction of the subject history. And this archaeological source, what sources will release, they are nothing but archaeological sources. They give a reliable answer, not a exact or 100% of the answer. So, our near answer. See, in the year 1921-22, this means in the year 1921-22, under leadership of Sir John Marshall, Dayaram Sahani and R.D. Banerjee, both people started to dig at particularly in the northwest part of India. Here how the bits archaeology, when the department came into existence, 1861 December. What is archaeology? Archaeology is nothing but two diggings, where at a particular sites, with the help of, in the previous civil service preliminary examination, with the help of what? The archaeology will collect the debris. In generally, with the help of what means? Generally, we, with the help of a long and the sharp tools. See, here the archaeology never hold long tools. But what is the main intention of the archaeology? To collect the debris without break. To collect the debris without the break. If you take long, we forcefully dig at a particular place, then the debris never come without break. That's why the debris are very helpful to them. That's why with the help of very, previous exam they are asked, very short and sharp tools, they started to dig at particular site. See here one important bit. Archaeology is nothing but diggings. Diggings. Where at particular or selective place, with the help of short and sharp tools, what they are getting? They are getting debris. They are getting debris. So generally the debris are in two kinds. One is the previously the human being what they used, either articles or tools or vessels or whatever it may be, they are all kept under. See, by digging they are getting. So they are nothing but what human being was used in his early. See, they are nothing but suppose any kind of vessels or tools or articles, by even though seals or even though inscriptions. So vessels, tools, articles, seals, inscriptions, or even though what type of, these all those kept under burial, they are kept under, by digging itself they are come out. These are all human related, that means vessels, even though monuments, even though constructions. So these are all are comes under. These are one kind of debris. And second one, human body parts. Human body parts. For example, skulls, bones, teeth, and skeletons. These are the four are very, very important. They are also comes under debris. These are all human body parts. See, by digging itself at a particular sites, they are getting these two kinds of debris. For example, while digging itself a particular place, suppose if they are get these two types, either vessels, tools, or articles, or monuments, or inscriptions, and seals, or all those, by observing all these human related articles, or what the human being was used in his early, by observing all these, we are getting these are belongs to some. These are belongs to some. But we don't know the particular tools or inscriptions or monuments belongs to which period? See, by observing debris part A, we are getting some kind of information. These are belongs to some. But we don't know the some are belongs to or whom or belongs to which period. Here we have to be know the particular period of. For this purpose, you take debris B, suppose the human body parts, skulls, bones, teeth and skeletons. With the help of radiocarbon number 14, this is an radioisotope chemical, the number is 14. With the help of RC14, by pouring this chemical on this, and they are getting something information regarding these are belongs to roughly which period. Now these archaeologists, while comparing the both, they are giving some information regarding so and so articles are belongs to some period. So and so inscriptions are belongs to some period. See, these are all very, very important. With the help of radiocarbon number 14, we are getting a information regarding these human related body parts belongs to which period. Which period? See, here archaeology, by observing these two, they are getting or they have an idea. See, observe here, very, very important bits are there. I already informed what is archaeology. Once again, archaeology is a science which unable to us to dig, once again, which enables to us to dig old bones in a systematic manner, in a successive layers, and form an idea, material life of people. Sometimes, here just to observe, our answer will be depend on options only. For example, archaeology, what is archaeology is there, and the given options, diggings or earthquakes. Okay, na? So such type of some options are there. Then we have to be choose. Archaeology is nothing but diggings only. By digging itself at a particular or the selective places, they never dig anywhere. In a particular or a selective places, they will dig and collect. What they collect? Debris only. I said here, how many types of debris are there? The main responsibility of the archaeology, number one is to collect the debris without break. Then the second one is that collect the debris or preserve. Second responsibility, preserve. Where such debris will preserve. Preserve in the where preserve na? That means in museums. And the third one, they will give some information regarding for the coming generations. See, these are all are very, very important. The first responsibility to collect the sources without break. Collecting sources will preserve in the museums and inform to coming generations regarding the particular. These are all are the very, very important the responsibilities of the archaeology. And next question here, with the help of what isotope or the chemical? I said the RC number 14. With the help of radiocarbon 14, they are getting information regarding the particular period. Which chemical is very helpful to the particular department? So, radiocarbon 14. This is very, very important. And the next one, just we have to be observed, skulls, bones, teeth and skeletons. Here one question is commonly asking. The study of skulls, bones, teeth and skeletons are called anthropology. Anthropology. It's very, very important bit is there. Anthropology. Next, out of given sources, which is playing a vital role. So, archaeology playing a vital role. See, this when the department or archaeology or IASI, Archaeology Survey of India, came into existence in the year 1861 December. 1861 December. See, out of two important sources for us, number one is archaeology. Next, number two, second one is literary sources are nothing but the collection of old, that is nothing but, see, literary is nothing but all type of written records or written source. If you want to write, script is necessary. Script is necessary. All written records are nothing but literary sources. For example, inscriptions, novels, or biographies and autobiographies, or dramas, either political dramas also. See, these are all are important sources are for us. These all comes under the literary sources. But if you want to, script is necessary. Without the script, there is no meaning of literary. See, these two sources are very helpful to us to know the history. But among two, which is playing a vital role means archaeology. Archaeology, I said a lot of information regarding the archaeology. Second one is literary sources. Next, based on these sources, our historians has constructed a subject, history. Now, I am discussing something regarding you. What are the divisions in the history? What are the divisions in the history? See, based on the small word script, based on the small word script, before the innovation of the word script, history is there. See, before the word script, this is called prehistoric age. Prehistoric age. And the second one, after the innovation of the word script, historic age. See, here history was divided into two. One is prehistoric age, second one is historic age. What is prehistoric? Before the innovation of the word script or lack of literary sources, and that period is called prehistoric age. The availability of literary sources is nothing but historic age. Is nothing but historic age. See, based on what? Script only. Based on what? Script only. See, as per this information, we have two types of the two divisions are there in the history. Number one is prehistoric age, second one is historic age. Just before going to discuss something regarding this one, when the human being came into existence. Now we are all human beings. We are all human beings. At the beginning or at the time of human being was existence, we are in the same or anything changes are there in our appearance, are there changes in our attitude. See, anyhow, as per the available information, the first human being came into existence around 2.5 million years ago. But these people are nothing but we call them as the early people. So they are nothing but early people or rock ages people. See, but now we are not at all rock ages. We are not at all early people. We are but human beings only, but we are something different. But this is not we are in the advanced stage. But our, that means human beings, at the beginning stage, not at all in the same position. See, before us, in the 5 important stages, through these 5 important evolving stages, stage by stage, gradually, the human being change his appearance and his attitudes. Now we became the modern human beings. Now we are all the human beings, okay. But as per this subject, we not at all. We are the modern human being. And now this is the 6th stage of, which means before this stage, 5 important stages are there. Mongoloids, Australoids, Proto-Australoids, Neanderthal, and the 5th one is Homo sapiens. Just you have to observe Mongoloids, Australoids, Proto-Australoids, Neanderthal. See, these are the early 4 stages. And the 5th stage is nothing but Homo sapiens. 5th stage of the human being. See, these are all human beings are nothing but the early people. When the human beings came into existence, I said around 2.5 million years ago. 2.5 million years ago. But not in the same position. Before us, 5 important evolving stages. By gradually, we became, now in the 6th, they are nothing but the modern human beings. What are those? Mongoloids, Australoids, Proto-Australoids, Neanderthals, and the Homo sapiens. Here, one important bit is there. Who are the near human beings? Or who are the near modern human beings? The answer is Homo sapiens. 5th stage of the human beings are close to the modern human beings. By observing these all stages, for example, up to 4th stage, the human being like this only. They never look straight, they never stand in properly, like he completely bent like this. By gradually, the human being became like. See, especially in the 5th stage of human being, nothing but the Homo sapiens, they are look like us only. But they also look like, they also means stand properly and they look straight. But they wore, that means animal skins only. There is no meaning of they never wore clothes. The difference in between these, the modern human being wearing clothes and they never. They themselves they cover their body with the help of some animal skins or the leaves of the tree. See, these are the what the Darwin said. See here also some important evolving stages, stage by stage, gradually human beings are became like this only. See, when the human being came into existence around 2.5 million years ago, where? In Africa. See, these are all are the people are together called early people. See, just observe, before innovate the word script, history is there. Human beings are there, but lack of script, there is no meaning of literary sources. But how to know regarding the history of the early people? But here, the archaeology very helpful to us. Archaeology very helpful to us. If you want to know regarding the prehistoric age, one and only important sources are there. They are nothing but archaeological sources. They are playing a vital role in the prehistoric age. But these all people are the early people. And how many millions ago? Around 2.5. Any evidence regarding the presence of these people are there in the Africa? Even though in India also is there around 1.4 millions ago. Not only in India, even though in our Andhra also. So many places we have the evidence regarding the presence of the early people. How can we know regarding based on the archaeological evidences or the archaeological sources? Or when the human being invent the word means a script, and then automatically some kind of literary sources are there. See now, what are the ages comes under the prehistoric? I said, see, early people. Early people are rock ages people. See, early human being or early people are rock ages people. See, I said rock age, not rock ages. See, these rock ages are early people comes under prehistoric age. Prehistoric age. See, why we call them as rock ages now? They maximum they were lived in the rock is nothing but rock made caves or rock cut caves, but they most probably used stone made vessel means tools to hunt the animals. See, the early rock ages people, the primitive economic activity of those people is nothing but the hunt only. See, these people mostly they were lived in the caves only. So that's why early people are nothing but the rock ages people. Now just to observe, rock ages, but not rock age. How many rock ages are there now? Here, 3 rock ages are there. Paleolithic, Paleolithic age, Mesolithic and Neolithic. Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic age. Why we divide like this? Paleolithic, Paleo is nothing but the early rock age. See, Paleo are the old Stone Age. Second one is the Mesolithic, later Stone Age. And third one is the Neolithic. See, how we were divided like that, how we division like that. See, these all 3 ages together called the rock ages only. In the 3 ages they used the rock made tools only, they lived in the caves only. But how can we divide? Based on 2 important words. And what means, I said already the main economic activity of those people, the primitive economic activity, hunt only. For that hunting purpose, what they used, rock made tools. See, on the size, I said based on the two words. Number one is size and shape of the rock. Based on the size and shape of the rock or the stone, the rock ages again divided into Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic ages. But in that Paleolithic age, they hunt with massive rock, but they can't, they very forcefully just he lift the massive rock and just to throw on the wild animal or the animals. But in that way, he was hunt. But come towards the next, after few, but the size and shape of the rock or stone, something changed. In the initial stage, it is not possible to hold. But in the second stage, after few years, the human being, early human being, he trying to hold the rock, and with the help of that rock, by hit, and he kill the animal. That means the size and shape of that stone is comfortable to hold, better than the massive rock. Now come towards the third, he is very comfortable to hold the stone, and he is hunting. See, based on the size and shape of that means the stone, the rock was divided into three: Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic ages. Just see that Paleolithic is again divided. I said Paleolithic or old Stone Age, again divided into three. One is lower or early Paleolithic age. Second one is middle. Second one is middle, and third one is upper. Third one is upper Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, and a lower or early Paleolithic. So we divide the Paleolithic age based on the activity of that particular means early people. See, anyhow, the rock ages. But in that rock ages are the early people, they always be food gathering people. They always be wanderers. They started to search where the food is available. And the maximum hours they were spent on that only. Maximum hours, very few hours they took rest. Maximum on the branches of the tree or the rock cut caves for the secure purpose, and they are taking shelter. So they never interest to live on outer. Especially they have to be choose where the rock cut caves are, where the caves are available. If the caves are not available, he is ready to leave the branches of tree, but he never sleep on ground because of threat is there from that wild animals. See, in that rock ages, are nothing but early age people, always be food gathering people only, wanders only, nomadics only, but there is no settled life. But come towards the Mesolithic, even though here also the lifestyle of the early people is the same, but end of that, and they know something fire, but they never implement in that one. And the previous examination, once they ask, when the human being started to use fire, and once again I repeat, previous some examinations, when the human being started, on which period the human being was started to use fire, given option Paleolithic is there, Mesolithic is there, Neolithic is there, and none of the above. When the human being started to, or when the early people started to use Neolithic age, Neolithic or the new stone age, but when they know Mesolithic, which age is in between Paleolithic and Neolithic, but they know, but there is no meaning what is the use of the fire. But when the human being started to use fire na Neolithic, but in the means come down to the Neolithic, but in that Neolithic is the human being started to, cook food. He is nothing but he started to, that means settled life. See, when the human being started to set, which is the first settlement regarding the settled life of the human being. So, in that Neolithic case, the human being started to settle life. We have that means an idea, we have an important source regarding the settled life of the human being in our subcontinent is nothing but, the area is nothing but Mahargarh. The place is there present in the state of Balochistan in the Pakistan. So this is the first settled life of the human being in our subcontinent. See, very very important, this is also very important, but this is an site of the Neolithic. See, in the Paleolithic and Mesolithic, there is no settled life, but the settled life is there in the Neolithic people only. See, on the previous, in the two particular ages, the human being always be food gathering only, wanders only. But come to the Neolithic, when he started to settle life, when he started to agriculture, or when he started to grow crops, and automatically no need to wander. From here there only he started to grow. So, in the previous, the maximum hours he was spent on hunting. But in that particular, when he was started to cultivation, there is no need to depend on. So, in very early, very fastly, within a few, and what he need, almost he was created himself, what are his requirements. No need to depend on hunt. But even though Neolithic age people also, the main primitive economic activity of that people means hunt only. But while comparing the Paleolithic and Mesolithic, their economic activity was changed. No need to spend on the maximum hours. See, in the Neolithic age, he gets some leisure. In that leisure period, so from food gathering to food creating stage, when he get the more leisure, but that leisure hour he was spent on experiment regarding the old script. So better to remember is one more very very important bit. When the human being started so experiments on the old script, that means Neolithic. But there is no meaning of the presence of the script. When the human being started to experiments regarding the script means in the Neolithic. When the human being know or when the script is came into existence is nothing but Bronze Age. Bronze Age. See the bit. When human being know the old script or existence, when? So Bronze Age. When the human being started to experiments regarding the old script, Neolithic age. See, just we have to be little bit information regarding these three. See, rock ages or early ages. These three rock ages comes under prehistoric age. Clearly there is no information, there is clear information is there, regarding there is no availability of the old script. That's why the three rock ages or the early people comes under the prehistoric age. Later, next come to, after that, the early people started to use metal. Here one important bit is there, which is the first metal used by the human being in Indian subcontinent, or which is the first metal experienced by the human being in Indian subcontinent. So which is the first metal? Is nothing but copper. Which is the first metal? Copper. Which is the first metal? Copper only. See, suppose if he started to use the copper made vessels or copper made tools, he totally left the, stone. See, they used the both either stone made and even the metal made, especially the copper made tools. That's why this is nothing but Chalcolithic age. Chalcolithic age. But here the both metal plus stone, both tools are used, Chal and Leothic. This is nothing but metal, Leothic means stone. Here both metals and stone made tools they used. And the next one, but here also there is no evidence regarding the presence of the word script. That's why this age also comes under the prehistoric age. This one also comes under the prehistoric age. Chalcolithic age also comes under the prehistoric age. Later words, copper, even though they used tin, later the human being was started something experiments. if you club the both copper and tin, if you merge that two metals after melting it one, why won't create a new metal? And they already did the experiment and they were succeed and they made one new metal by merging the two different metals, copper plus tin. By clubbing or merging these two, we get one new kind of metal, is nothing but the bronze. So bronze is a metal. This is an allied metal. So here one important bit, bronze, this is the metal, but we never find, we can create only. This is an allied metal. By merging what type of the metals, what metals? Copper and tin. Who are the first people to make the bronze? This is one more. They are nothing but Indus people. So that's why Indus civilization is belongs to Bronze Age. I already said during the Bronze Age we know the something information regarding the script. Script is available in that particular. See, in orderly, 3 rock ages, Chalcolithic age, these two comes under the prehistoric. In orderly, the first human beings used the stone made, later metal, especially which metal means the copper. Afterwards, along with the copper, they used the tin. Then after, they used the bronze. He only created the bronze. But during that time, availability of the script is there. That's why the Bronze Age comes under the historic age. The Bronze Age comes under the historic age. See, here one more very important. Bronze is an allied metal. Who made this one? Indus people. Who are the first people in the world? Indus people only. See, bronze. Then after it, and one more important metal is came into existence is nothing but iron. Iron. See, that iron is nothing but present we have stood in this age only. Iron. And iron is. See, bronze, the second one is iron. These both two ages are comes under the historic age. These two ages are comes under the historic age. Here generally bits, how the bits are asking, how they are framing the bits means, present we are belongs to which age? Based on the options. Historic, prehistoric, like the options are there. No, we are belongs to the historic. Is nothing but the availability of the script. Based on the options, the question is the same. Now at present we are belongs to which age? Options, stone age, copper age, or Chalcolithic age, like the iron age, like this type of options are there, then the answer is iron. Suppose if iron is not there, metal is, but metal is, especially which metal? Iron only. So at present we are belongs to which period or which era is nothing but iron age only. Even though after 100 years or lakh years also, then also such this type of questions will arise, the answer is the same. Why means the iron is the most advanced metal. So present we are in the which age? Iron age only. The iron was found in our subcontinent first around 1000 BC. This is also one more important bit. At where? At Gandhara. Where is Gandhara? Present in the modern Afghanistan. Present modern Afghanistan. See, when we found iron ore around 1000 BC, where at Gandhara, where is the place present in the modern Afghanistan? See, early are the rock ages, then the Chalcolithic age, then the Bronze age, then Iron age. First two ages are comes under the prehistoric, last two comes under the historic. This clear division based on the script only. For prehistoric is one and only source is there is nothing but archaeological sources. There is no alternative for that one. Come towards the historic. Here archaeological sources are there, along with literary sources also are there. But here the alternative is there for the archaeology. If when we have the both sources, while comparing with each other, we are getting a clear and a perfect answer. But when a lack of literary sources, just like for the prehistoric is, and there is no 100% of the answer. Why means there is no alternative for the archaeology. Then the archaeology will play a vital role to know something regarding the prehistoric age. See, anyhow, these two sources are very important or helpful for us to know regarding the history. See, one is prehistoric age, second one is the historic age. That historic age can be divided into ancient, medieval, modern. Ancient, medieval, modern. See, this is one more division. See, we are dividing the historic age into three divisions, again three divisions. See, history divided into prehistoric, historic age. Historic age can be divided into ancient, the medieval and modern. Suppose we are the Indians. So, ancient Indian history, a medieval Indian history, modern Indian history. Okay, na? So, this is the division. I said from the right beginning, what is history? What are the sources? What are the divisions? In the middle little bit, so many important bits are there. See, now what I said, either regarding something totally history. See, these are all are something information regarding the history. I said how many marks they will cover in the total percentage of the marks. So this is little bit information regarding the history only. So history, what are the sources, what are the divisions. Now come to the last one is history divisions. Historic is can be divided into pre-ancient, the medieval and the modern. And how the bits in the previous examination, what type of bits here they are asking. For example, I said to previous, what is history? Who is the father of history? And who are the first people in the world to issued or release the paper currency? And who is our Indian ruler titled with Prince of Many Years? What is heritage? What is archaeology? When the archaeology survey of India came into existence? What are the responsibilities of the archaeology? Which radiocarbon or radioisotope, the number, which number chemical is very helpful to us? That is nothing but RC number 14. What is anthropology? And these are some very, very important. So in the previous examination, such type of bits are commonly repeating. And very recently, in some kind of examinations, they ask archaeology, okay, archaeology with the help of what tools? See in the options, given option, short and sharp tools. Archaeology is nothing but diggings. And archaeology, while collecting the debris, where they will be preserved? Museums. That's why all museums in India comes under administrative control of Archaeology Survey of India. But this is at a central level. There is no separate state level. Sometimes they will confuse to us. So almost all museums in India itself, within the Indian territory, comes under the control of the Archaeology Survey of India. And where the human being preferred to live, even though rock-cut caves or even though branches upon the tree, branches of the tree also. Sometimes the primitive economic activity of the means early people, they are nothing but hunt only. And the next one is which stage of the human being, or who are the very close to the modern human being? I said Homo sapiens are nothing but the fifth stage of the human beings. Fifth stage of the human beings. And these are all are the questions repeated in the previous examinations. So everyone better to remember all those. See, up to what I was discussed with you, and these are all are something regarding the history. The examiner's point of view, their percentage is very less based on the level of examinations. Okay, now every aspirant have to remember these, especially some the little bit information this regarding this one, and then after we will discuss regarding the Indian history. We comes under our main area, Indian history.